Robin from ParaThat'sNotNormal.com, and welcome to my Crystal Gridding 101 video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to design your very own crystal grid without the use of a cloth. I'm going to show you how to choose your stones, how to assemble the grid, how to activate the grid, and how to deactivate the grid when you are finished with your grid. Now, what I suggest is to keep a Magical Workings journal. So I have a nice little leather-bound journal that I went out and purchased, and what I do is I write the date that I do something, and then as I see little signs or things that happen that just kind of seem a little uncanny or weird, I kind of jot those down and by the dates. But for designing your grid, it's really great because that way when you get a grid that you really like, you have a record of how you did it in case you want to do it again later. So first off, I know that I wanted to do a prosperity grid, and I wrote down all the stones that I was drawn to that I felt had to do with prosperity. So that's what I suggest first, is you use your intuition to choose your stones first. Do not go running to the books and saying, okay, well, what falls under prosperity? But go with what you think it is and then double check, because you'd be surprised at how correct you are. So I went with items that were green or had pyrite in them, or that glittered, because it just seemed on point, and I actually ended up being correct. So I wrote down in my journal that I chose green aventurine, and this is known as the gambler's stone. Basically it's for luck and abundance and prosperity, and it's green. Then I went with a green mossy agate, and I've always loved this stone, and it has some green and nice pure white, and that actually is abundance, prosperity, and it enhances creativity. And a lot of times you have to creatively come to a solution, or creatively you will bring in some abundance. Starry jasper. I have always loved starry jasper. It is so pretty. It is red jasper with pyrite in it. It's red and white jasper with pyrite. And it just, anything with pyrite is going to have to do with abundance. And then of course I chose jade. And jade is definitely a stone for prosperity. So it's good luck and prosperity. And then I chose citrine. Citrine is a very good stone for prosperity. It's life of abundance. And then tiger eye, because it had a sheen to it. It had a metallic look. It is it's a power stone, and it'd bring you good luck. And then I loved in my enchanted crystal box, I got these little amethyst points. So I just threw those in there since it's for higher knowledge, and a lot of times it takes higher knowledge to come to decisions that can bring you prosperity. So that's how I chose my stones. And then I posted a nice little video of an 8-piece generator set that I purchased because I needed these single point generators. And this is the quartz one that I am using in my prosperity grid. And as I pointed out in the other video, it has a really good, nice base, 6 sides, and a very sharp point. It's not blunt in any way, so that's very good. Because again, what's going to happen is the energy from your stones and your grid is going to go up through the base and out the point, and then back around, and it'll make a vortex. And then of course all the little crystal points that came with my enchanted crystals box, because you are going to use the points to point inward or point outward when you make your design. Now what I recommend is when you're done with your grid, so you write down on one page all your stones that you used, on the other you write out your design of your grid. But don't write it ahead of time, because I think it's more beneficial when you sit down with your grid to use intuition and to go with the flow, per se. Then, after you're done with your grid, go in and then jot down how you designed it, as well as after that, the progress as made. Then you're going to need a wand. Nice little wand. This is out of the Enchanted Crystals box. I'll post a link to that video. But this is what you can use to activate and deactivate your grid. And it doesn't have to be this. This is selenite, and it's also spiralized. It has a nice little point at the end. You can use a double terminated. You can use single terminated. Quartz is really good to use, and you can use your fingertip. But I like to use the wand. It makes it, I think, more official. So basically what you want to do, the next step after you've chosen your stones, is you want to place intent into the stones. So you're going to pick up each stone and you're going to sit with it for a while and hold it in your hand and close your eyes and just visualize what you want it to do, how you want it to contribute towards your grid, and place that intent in there. You can even light a candle and pass it through the smoke and say, with this smoke, I consecrate the stones so that it may, and then state your intention. You could do the same with sandalwood or a purifying incense smoke. With this smoke, I consecrate the stones so that it may. Hold it in your palm, you'll feel the warmth, and then you just close your eyes and you envision what you want it to achieve. That is how you charge up and place intent into your stones. And then, as you will see when I get to the gridding portion, you will also place that intent as you assemble your grid. So intent is everything. That is what this is all about. These are the tools. These manipulate the energies, but your intent and your thought is all the power. So, with that being said, let's move on to the next portion of this video, and that will be the actual gridding process. Before we go and do that though, I do want to show you something I picked up today. I thought this was brilliant. It's a little wooden tray that is a shape of a square. And why this is really beneficial is that it's got handles, so I can do my grid and I can pick it up and I can take it to another room, because you're going to want to leave your grid for at least a minimum of 24 hours to do what it needs to do, and you can leave it for months. And if you notice that it's not doing what you want it to do, you can always come back and you can reactivate, and in the video, the rest of the video, you'll see how to do that with the wand. But what I thought was really neat is how these little enchanted crystal claws fit really nice inside one of these boxes or little trays. So I had to pick this up. So let's move on to the next portion of this video, and that is getting into the meat of the gridding.
Okay everybody, let's begin gridding. But first, as I pointed out, I wanted to show you again, I picked up this little tray because I thought it would be really nice to make the grid portable. But look how nice these enchanted crystal grid claws fit in there. So this is really awesome. Looking forward to using this. So for the grid for today's purpose, I'm doing prosperity, and I'm going to use the crystal generator that I picked up. Again, I'll put the link in the description to get these generators. It's a set of 8. So here's the clear quartz that I'm going to begin with. Now, the idea of using the generator, the single point generator, why it was so important for me, is because of this flat base and the point and the 6 sides. So what's going to happen is the stones are going to go up through the base, basically the energy from the stones through the base, up, out the top, and back through. And it's just going to keep doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and set that in what would be the center. And then here are my stones, and each one represents a certain element of prosperity, as I described before. So I'm going to go ahead and, it doesn't matter which one, whatever feels right for you. I think I'm going to start with Tiger's Eye. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with what they call the quarters, and I'm going to put one above, to the side, And you want to go in a clockwise direction. Then you lay your next layer. So for the next layer, I'm going to go with the mossy agate. I'm going to go ahead and lay that down, and as you're laying them, you think of your intention, or you can say it out loud, but you just do it like so. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and lay out one more, I believe. I'm going to do one more on the quarters. I'm going to do Starry Jasper. It has a little bit of pyrite in there. And I'm just going to do it like so. Again, thinking the intention through. Okay? So now we've done the quarters, and I'm going to do the cross quarters. And again, I'm going to go in a clockwise direction. So I'm going to choose my green aventurine, and I'm just going to place it like so. Again, with the intent in mind as you are going around. And then I'm going to take my citrine, and I'm going to do the same. And then as I just go around, doing the cross quarters. Okay? Then I'm going to take my jade and just, and these stones can be any size, there's no rules. Alright, so there we have it. And then I decided, you know what, I liked these little amethyst points, and amethyst is higher wisdom, and you need some higher wisdom sometimes in making decisions to bring you prosperity. So I'm going to go ahead and throw those in there. That's how fluid this is. There's no right or wrong. You just always want to keep your intention in mind as you're laying out your stones. So there you have it. So the final piece is to put your quartz points. And I'll better quartz points, I think, as I get more enchanted crystal boxes, but basically if you want the energy to come into you, you put the points facing you. If you want the send energy out, say out to heal people or out, you know, to help, then you're going to put the points facing out. To bring prosperity into me, I'm going to bring and point it in. So again, I'm going to lay it, I guess, I'm gonna, well, I'll do all of them. So I'll do the quarters. Hopefully I have enough. And I have really itty bitty little ones left for do the cross quarters, but it's the intent that matters. And I'll just do the same. And there we are. So we've just laid out all of our stones. We have our generator. The generator is taking the energy from those stones, bringing it upwards to the point, and that's why that is important, that that point is sharp, and then it's bringing it back through. So it's just creating a vortex of energy. So the next step is to activate the grid. This is where your wand can come into handy here. So what you're going to do to activate is you are going to touch the generator, and then you're going to touch your first stone. Back to the generator, touch your second stone, and you just do that all the way around with your intent in mind, just like so, until you get all the way to the final bit. Come back and you touch your first stone. That's how you end it. Then what you can do is come back and draw a circle around and end it back. And that is how you activate your grid. Now when you're finished, you deactivate your grid. Exact opposite of how you activated it. You're going to go counterclockwise and you're going to touch the generator. First stone, second stone, third stone, back, and then go this way. Back around till you get to the final stone, back to the generator, and touch that first stone again. And then you're going to draw your circle counterclockwise. And then you can take it apart in the opposite of how you had assembled it. If you want to be very, very meticulous with it, you take it apart the way you assembled it. So this is why I like this little tray, is I can literally take my grid and pick it up and take it to another room. So that's why I picked that up today. I thought that that was really cool. So that is my prosperity grid. That is how you activate. First off, that's how you assemble, activate, deactivate, and then you would disassemble the opposite of how you assembled it. Next, I will make a video of the crystal charging grid. Okay, the final grid I'm going to show you in today's video is a really great crystal charging grid. So basically all I did is I placed a quartz cluster with the item that I want to charge on the quartz cluster, which that in and of itself is usually enough, but you can do a grid. And this is very, very easy. You just need 4 single termination point quartz crystals. I'm going to do one north, east, south, and west. And you just leave it like that. And you want to make sure that it points in towards your cluster and that you do it in the clockwise position. And you can even go as far as activating it, just as I'd shown you in the prosperity grid. But that is a cute little grid to do to charge your crystals. All right, with that, have a great day. Happy charging, happy gridding.